Samanta Chakravalesu Atra Gachantu Devata Sadhangmang Nirajasa Sunantu Sagga Mokkadang Dhamma Savana Kalo Ayang Bhadanta Dhamma Savana Kalo Ayang Bhadanta Dhamma Savana Kalo Ayang Bhadanta Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Honor to him, the blessed one, the worthy one, the fully enlightened one. My utmost respect to the perfectly enlightened Samma Sambuddha, the noble doctrine of the Buddha, and the noble Mahasangha, the disciples of the Buddha. Good morning. Thank you very much for the invitation and your wonderful gathering here. It's quite an honor to be here with all the Mahasangha members, both bhikkhus and bhikkhunis, and the upasakas and upasikas. So today, I would like to reflect on metta, the loving kindness. Metta, the loving kindness, I think is all what we need today, right? World needs it more than ever, I guess. We can see everywhere people are struggling. There are a lot of struggles in the world. There are wars in the world, and we see a lot of disparities among the communities. So we need more and more metta, the loving kindness. How do we practice metta? Starts with ourselves. We first of all need to practice this wonderful loving kindness towards ourselves. If you don't love yourself, you won't be able to practice, radiate the powerful energy towards the rest of the world. So always begin with yourself. And then you can expand the territories of loving kindness. So the Buddha said in Mettanisansa Sutta, there are 11 benefits to be reflected on. If you practice loving kindness, you can sleep comfortably. Sukhang supati. You can wake up comfortably. Sukhang patibhujyati. You also will be able to avoid some nightmares. And napapakang supinang pasati. You will not see any nightmares. I think today people have challenges in sleeping disorders, um, going to bed and waking up, and also having nightmares. So this is a beautiful way, practice, a strategy that was preached by the Buddha 2500 years ago. Practice loving kindness just before going to bed. You will be able to have a wonderful, peaceful, good night's sleep. And then, Manusanang Piyo Hoti, you will be a pleasant person to all humans. Wherever you go, people will love you. You will have that aura within you, and they can feel it. So, not only to the humans, Amanusanang Piyo Hoti, also to the non-humans. Maybe passing by other non-humans, even animals like dogs, cats, birds, even snakes. You can see the power of loving kindness is so amazing. We need to practice this towards certain animals also to see that. And there could be a lot of seen and unseen sentient beings everywhere in the world. So it's really good to practice loving kindness. We were talking about this when we were traveling in the cars with Ajahn, two Ajahns here. And so even when we enter an assembly like this, we could practice a little bit of loving kindness. Just before entering a shopping mall, an assembly, even going to a hotel room, boarding an airplane, we can just practice a little bit of loving kindness. Maybe a small formula, shorter formula, can be helpful. May they all be well, happy and healthy. May all sentient beings be well, happy and healthy. Just start practicing this beautiful mantra all the time. Even when you go to your car, you can, the car also needs some breathing. When you ignite the car, it takes a while, right? So you can practice a little bit of loving kindness towards yourself, towards all the other drivers, all the other commuters. May they be able to reach their destination peacefully without any difficulty. And then when you go to the office, before entering, you can also practice. May all beings be well, happy, healthy. Then enter the office. You will feel like you are warmly welcome there. You will feel the energy there. And especially when you enter an assembly where you don't know other people. So you will feel more confident. You will feel like I'm being welcomed by everyone. So that inner strength, that inner peace and inner confidence is all that matters. So really helpful if you practice this beautiful metta, loving kindness. It is called unconditional, immeasurable, boundless love. So there is no limitation to that. That's why we need to practice. Even towards tiny little insects, we can, if we notice, we can think of them, send loving kindness to them. Maybe they will be kind to you too. And you do that. That's so powerful. Couple of days ago when I reached here, I remember when I was walking along the beach, I met one monk. He was sitting, he was gazing at the sunset, beautiful. And I was surprised actually, it was a pleasant surprise to me. And then we were just talking a little bit. And then suddenly a passing by dog, he was looking at him. He came to the monk. He remembered the monk was feeding him some time back. You see the power of generosity and power of loving kindness. So they remember too. They are amazing. They have that sense of gratitude to the monk. So he was feeding him again. I'm sure he would remember him very well. So manussanang, amanussanang, like humans, non-humans, we can all the time practice this. And when you go to an unknown territory, it's really important to practice loving kindness. May all beings be well, happy, healthy. Then enter to a desert, to a jungle, to a water. You have to do that. That will be really helpful. Even when you board the airplane, as I mentioned, think of the cabin crew, think of the pilot, think of the other passengers, and may they all be well, happy, healthy, and then go there, sit. You will feel much safer and comfortable. It's a really, really a wonderful practice. I notice I have been doing this for a while too. When you go to a hotel especially, there could be maybe unknown, invisible, other sentient beings too. Maybe the former owners, you never know. They might be comfortably sitting on couch or chair, and you're going to sit on their lap. You might be like making them angry sometimes. They might even push you. You don't know. So it's good to be grateful and thankful. Even when I was entering this gym, Ajahn Nisabo said this is a gym. I also found it very fascinating, like gym for the mind and gym for the body. So I think it was a new place for me. So I took some time, just a few seconds, to be grateful and thankful. And when I entered, I feel comfortable. So practicing this loving kindness have no barriers, no limitations. You can always practice it, and you will always be benefited. Remember how the Buddha, when he was practicing loving kindness, he had an enemy. Who was that? Who was the Buddha's enemy? Mara? Okay. Was he angry with Mara? No, right? And there was another enemy, like a human. He was always with him. What was his name? Devadatta? Yes. Devadatta, right? And he was always trying to dethrone the Buddha's authority. He wanted to replace that. He wanted to be in charge. Although he was unsuccessful all the time, every time he was trying to hurt him, hate him, dislike him somehow for many, many births, it is said. But Buddha did not have even a moment of disliking or unpleasant feeling or negativity towards him. That's really, really amazing how the Buddha was practicing that loving kindness. This is also very important to each and every one of us. And you can think of an elephant called Nalagiri. He was sent towards the Buddha, and in Sri Lanka we have a lot of elephants too. So it's very important to practice loving kindness to all of them. They are amazing, very powerful animals, really smart, intelligent animals. And we need to be respectful to them. We need to practice loving kindness to them. They can feel it. I've seen elephants crying, the tears rolling down when another fellow elephant dies. They are very emotional, very compassionate too. at times. So, to all sentient beings, to practice this loving kindness is important. So the Buddha was very compassionate to elephants. We've heard of Parilaya. There was another elephant, a monkey. He was kind to him, right? And the Buddha was kind to Aṅgulimāla. You heard of Aṅgulimāla, right? Aṅgulimāla was a serial killer, and Buddha came in between Aṅgulimāla and his own mother out of compassion, out of great compassion. He rescued Aṅgulimāla. If he was able to kill his own mother, he would have done it if there was no Buddha. Then even the Buddha could have not been able to help him, rescue him. But that was the timely intervention of a great, exemplary spiritual leader, the Buddha. He intervened at the very right time. Every single morning, the Buddha used to go to deep jhana, what we call Maha Karuna Samapatti Samadhi, that is great compassionate samadhi. And then he would scan the world. Whom should I rescue today? Whom should I help? There are so many people in the world, so he can help everyone. He has to find the most eligible one. So that day he saw Aṅgulimāla was the one. And another day he saw Patachara was the one. Another day he saw Kisa Gautami was the one. So he would see like Pukkusati. In the story of Pukkusati, even the Buddha went to the middle of the road. Pukkusati was on his way to see the Buddha. And he has left his kingdom. He wanted to meet the Buddha. And that time, Buddha saw him on the way. He had to go there to the middle of the road because he knew he wouldn't be able to survive if he did not go there. So in advance he went. He was not waiting for him to come to him. And so in the middle of the road there was a resting house, and Pukkusati was sitting there, and the Buddha was having a chat with him, and they were spending the night in that rest house, and they were talking. And Pukkusati, when the Buddha asked, where are you going to? He said, I'm going to meet the Buddha. Have you seen the Buddha? No. No Facebook? No social media, so no pictures. So he has never seen the Buddha. Do you know how he looks like? I don't know, he said. And then, so they had a little chat, and the Buddha gave him a wonderful, beautiful Dhamma talk. And eventually he realized, this is exactly the one I have been searching for. I was going to see this person. This is the Buddha right in front of me. And he was so happy. And then he said, I want to become a monk. And then the Buddha said, do you have a robe? No, I don't. And then he said, okay, you go take a robe and I can ordain you. He went in search of a robe. On the way, he was knocked down by a cow. There are a lot of cows in India even today. So roadside, and he died on the spot. See why the Buddha went in advance? Because he knew otherwise he wouldn't be able to rescue this man. And the other monks were worried. Oh, this poor guy, he couldn't even become a monk, and he died. And the Buddha said, bring his body and cremate the body respectfully like an Arahant. Why did he say so? He was already an Arahant by that time. So there are wonderful interventions of the Buddha that out of great compassion for the world, compassion and generosity and loving kindness, these are some of the things that we need to constantly practice during our lifetime. Even little kid can be compassionate. each and every one of us can be compassionate, right? We can all be generous. Do you need to have a lot of money to be generous? You don't, right? You don't even have to have anything. Sometimes the monastics, they can offer their bowl to us, to fellow monks. Today Ajahn is about it that practicing generosity has no limit. Whenever you have an opportunity to practice generosity, you should grab that opportunity right away and do that. I remember one time when I was in a car, and there was a homeless person and at an intersection. So I had some food with me. I gave it to him. He said, "God bless you." That was first time I heard "God bless me." I felt so touched by that beautiful prayer of that person, because in Sri Lanka we are not used to that. But here, that is the best way to bless someone. He said, "God bless you." I feel really good. So you never know. Maybe your generosity is tested by some. It is said heavenly beings. Sometimes the god Sakka, the leader of the celestial beings, he is said to come here and test your generosity, just like that. And if you see a homeless person or someone else who is in need of something, and you need to, practice, maybe he is God Sakka in disguise. You never know. He is testing your generosity, your loving kindness. So loving kindness and generosity, I think they go together. And this is really important. So metta and loving kindness can make you very calm and peaceful person. And when you become peaceful, your brain waves function smoothly. Your heart rate functions smoothly. Your nervous system functions smoothly. And you will feel much more comfortable. What will happen then? You will feel luminous. You don't need makeup. See, the monks don't have makeup. They're shining like stars. Power of loving kindness, right? Your inner peace is reflected in your face. So it is said you can make yourself very luminous when you practice loving kindness. So those people who want to look beautiful, practice loving kindness. Because when your blood is pure and your heart rate and the brain waves function smoothly, you will look beautiful. Everyone can feel it within you. That's why many people also like to practice meditation. Um, so also a lot of people today have the problem of ADHD, right? Attention deficit disorder. It's very hard. That is why they have shorts, they have reels, because they don't have time to, even watch longer time. Difficult for them to concentrate longer. So for those people who have that problem, yet again, practicing metta, loving kindness, can be really helpful. Loving kindness can make you concentrate better. If you need a better job, practice metta, so you can concentrate better. I remember there was a book written by Carl Newport. He's written a book called Deep Work. Deep work means you need to focus better. You need to really focus better. And if you want to be hired by the best of the best companies like here, so you need to have not shallow work, but really deep work. You should be able to do that. So practicing metta, practicing meditation can really make your concentration stronger than ever. So you see how important it is to practice even while working, walking, driving, cooking, all the time we can practice this, and you can focus better and you can concentrate better. Very, very important. And then in that Metta Nisansa Sutta, the benefits of loving kindness, it is said you can die peacefully. That's another very important thing, right? You never know when, how, where it happens. When it happens, we have to face it, we have to accept it, but we can peacefully accept it. That is what's happened to, what will happen to someone who practices metta, loving kindness. So these are the benefits of practicing metta, and you all can do this. And if you practice metta, it's not like sitting only. Metta is like anapanasati, breath meditation. You need to practice while sitting. But metta can be practiced while sitting, while standing, while walking, even while laying down. So that is accessible in all modes, all postures. So I would like to encourage each and every one of you to practice more and more metta, loving kindness. May you all be beautiful. May you all be healthy. May you all be peaceful. May the power of this practice by each and every one of us lead to a better world, peaceful world, a happy world, so that our future generation can have a peaceful world. Thank you.
Handamayam Dhamma Kataya Sadhu Karam Dadamase Sadhu 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 Anumodami.
Maybe we could all sit together for about a minute or two and just sit with the echoes of those words and loving kindness. Okay. That was very special. One day. Mind workout. So I think we'll have a bit of time for Q&A, maybe 7 minutes or so. But we're going to keep some space just to open up. Some of you know how we do this at times, is sort of open up the space for anyone to speak into, monastics or laity, just to say what's coming up in their hearts. And I think an occasion like this with so many monastics really deserves that sort of sanctification, that sort of seal. So we're going to preserve a large amount of time for that. But for about 7 minutes, we'll open to Q&A and then just open up the space for any monastics or practitioners to kind of speak into the space and just say what's coming up in your heart.
Namaskaran, Bhante. Talk about metta. I would like to ask you, because when we practice metta, Lord, it is slip into the sineha, the favorite of metta. Sineha, right, Ajahn? Yes, I don't know how to say in English. It's a feeling of this expectation, like a mother love the child and expect the child to do well, and expect the loved one to be doing this, doing that, but it becomes attached to that feelings. So, are there any technique or something for us to watch out for this, the sineha feelings occur?
I think we were chanting that loving kindness sutta. There is in Pali, Mata yatha niyang puttang ayusa eka putta manurakhe evang pi sabba bhutesu manasang bhaveya parimana. Just like the mother who has the one child, the only child, she would protect the child even at the cost of her own life. So too, we need to practice loving kindness to all sentient beings. Mother protects her own child with so much boundless, unconditioned, immeasurable love. So can we also radiate that thing to others, other sons, other children? Then we have to practice that. So like sometimes people think, okay, if you practice metta, it's like an attachment. So attachment in detachment, kind of. You can be negatively attached to someone because loving kindness is, of course, immeasurable. It should be to everyone. So if you do it to everyone, that becomes so amazingly powerful. It goes to everyone. So there is no particular attachment to them that way. So in karuna is for the suffering ones, lesser people than you, and then the mudita is for the better people than you, and happier people than you, and then equanimity or upekkha is for everyone. So all these Brahma Viharas can be practiced together to make it much more meaningful. I think sineha is the Pali word, sneha is the Sanskrit word that you mean. That is the kind of bond, the motherly love. That is kind of selfish love, I would say. But you have to make it selfless love so that you can develop, inculcate that powerful love to other sentient beings, to other children, to other people, to other humans, everyone. That way it won't be a limited, confined loving kindness.
If any of the ayos would like to respond to that, or we'll have time for one or two more questions, and they can be addressed to any of the monastics. Do any of the ayos, any response to that? The difference between sneha, this kind of oily or attached love, versus metta? We can always take other questions. Okay. Maybe we can raise your hand, and also online. Susan.
Hi, Venerables. Thanks so much for bringing us the gift of Dhamma today. I had a question from my practice, an experience about developing perceptions. It seems, in reading the suttas, that's something that the Buddha encourages, and I think of the Patalaya Sutta and all the similes that are present there. And I'm curious if you have any tips from your own practice and experience for helping those to sink down into citta and to not just be on the surface level of thought and perception after the fact, but helping to internalize it, so with the future arising of perceptions that, you know, they're more in line with the factual, unsatisfactory nature of experience. And that's for any of you.
Can you hear me? I think, you know, when you do those kind of contemplations, you know, working with perception, I think if you sense and feel into it, you know, not just thinking about it, but also viscerally feel into it, then that will make it more integrated, you know, and then when such things happen, you know, it's a much deeper ingrained knowing, which is becomes easier available in the moment. And in the beginning, you know, that might be a little bit difficult, you know, to you know, stay with it long enough. But it's like you know, learning a language basically, or learning a instrument or something. It takes repetition and it takes time, you know, and staying with it. But the viscerally feeling and sensing into it. Does that make some sense?
The Battaglia Sutta, it's a high bar. And I think one thing is that when you experience true pleasure and joy in meditation, it exceeds the pleasure that comes from the senses. And I heard a wise monk, Ajahn Sona, share at his 20-year monk thing, talk, he was asked about renunciation, and he said renunciation, he felt, was something that happens to you. It's not something you do. Things fall away, and they do. I think we also need to lean into them, and I think that's what you're asking. But what always works in the long run is wisdom. So this is not something that I don't think it's something that you can force. I do think it's something that you can incline towards. You can surround yourself with other people that have those inclinations. That's extremely supportive. And then when you are experiencing a sense pleasure, I think it's really important to stay really present. Like, oh, what is this? What is this? It's pleasant. But the more you're with that pleasant, you realize, oh, and then there's stuff in between the pleasant. And you know, slow things down. And I think also us being really aware when we're being given the opposite message, which is almost all the time, that, you know, this is the way to go. No, it's not. That's how I work with it. Yeah.
Just to reference the Battaglia Suttas, the similes for sensual desires, which are a bloodless piece of bone gnawed by a dog,
chasing up a tree to get some fruit from the tree, and then somebody comes up and it's their tree and they want to cut it down. So, burning grass torch, you're running along, charcoal pit, got birds fighting after a piece of meat, dream, you got borrowed goods, you got like 7 or 8 suttas, and yeah, if that touches you, similarly just take on a daily practice of reciting those or reading that part of the sutta. Yeah.
You can add that onto your Starbucks order, see how it goes over. So that is a really good question. I do want to leave time today for others to sort of speak into this space. And so maybe because we haven't had Aya Ahimsa, Venerable Kachayana, Aya Vandana here in a long time, just quickly, if any three of you have anything to say to our community, I want to open up a little space for that. No pressure, even though I just put you on the spot in front of a bunch of people. But maybe if one of you would say, just have any reflection for the community, and Aya Ahimsa, I might sort of, yeah, Aya Ahimsa perhaps is the most senior, who we haven't seen in a long time. Yeah? Okay, all right. Well, it's okay. In that case, can we just open up the space to anyone in the audience as well? Just raise your hand, and if anything's coming up just around the community, or any thoughts on kind of what the kind of coming together of Dharma in the Northwest has meant. I think it's just a sweet thing, a sweet note to end on, is opening up the space for that.
Thank you for the wonderful talk and meditation. What's coming up for me is just a kind of excitement about Buddhism. And so I think there are so many things happening in the world that I can't explain. It's a mystery, even why I'm here and who I am. You know, I just can't come up with answers. But what seems to be coming more clear to me, and this is something Ajahn Kovalo said in a lecture at the Unitarian Church, is that it is possible to cultivate wholesome mind states and to abandon unwholesome mind states. And what I'm learning from Buddhism is that this is very certain, it's becoming more certain to me. And there's a very practical way of doing it, and the talk today, to me, is an example. You know, I can practice loving kindness and generosity, and that does cultivate wholesome mind state for me. And it's very, you know, what I would say is win-win, because it helps me and it helps others. And to me, this is just, I don't know, it's very exciting because there's so much uncertainty in the world and so much that I can't explain, and yet this is becoming more clear to me. So I wanted to share that. Thank you.
So we'll just make Anjali after each person's, and we'll save the sadhus until the end. And those online can raise their hand as well electronically.
Hi, my name is Kate. I would like to say how blessed I feel to be among all the bhikkhus and bhikkhunis here. And not only that, we have the Thai lineage, but this time we have our Venerable Sumitta from the Sri Lankan lineage. And I was just so touched by your Sri Lankan chant. I was crying to hear your beautiful chant. It was very beautiful, and I am so glad to see our growing monastic community. Thanks, of course, to Ajahn Kovilo and Nisapo, who built up Clear Mountain, and then we have Ayananvari moving here, and Parayana Vihara is growing. We have Venerable Silananda becoming a bhikkhuni yesterday, and we have Anakarika Kema now from our own Brianna. I just don't know how to express how happy I am, and I just feel so blessed. Thank you.
So I came here today with a huge amount of compassion fatigue for the daily work that I do. And I can't tell you how spot on your talk was, and how it offered me things that I can do every day that will keep me going and offering that love and metta to people. So I thank you very much.
Just a quick comment. Thank you all, venerables, for visiting. I really feel that we have a monastery here.
Those online or any of the monastics are also welcome, but we're going to leave the space open for a bit longer.
So, for those of you who are kind of new to Buddhism or might not just be learning, one of the things that this assembly right here, this assembly is Buddhism. And it's unfortunately in the West a very rare assembly. So when the Buddha wanted to keep his teachings alive, he set up what he called the Fourfold Assembly. The Fourfold Assembly were men and women lay people and women and men monastics. Right? This is the Fourfold Assembly. And now in these days, to be more inclusive, some people say manifold assembly and things like that. But the idea is that the men and women, everybody comes together, monastics and lay people, as a symbiotic relationship, as a team. And for a long time in Theravada, the Fourfold Assembly was not here. Right? And now, since the last 30 years, we have these wonderful bhikkhunis, and we can all be here together. It's so important that the Fourfold Assembly is together, because we are the vessel that keeps Buddhism alive. And one of the things that we see in the suttas that the Buddha says when he's talking about, he's kind of like bragging about his Fourfold Assembly in the sutta, and he says, my bhikkhus are very learned and very well practiced. They practice very well. And you're like, okay, yeah, of course we know the bhikkhus. And then my bhikkhunis are very learned and practice very well. And it's like, oh, okay, yeah. And then my laymen are very learned and practice very well. And it's like, oh, my laywomen are very learned and practice very well. And it's the same words, regardless of monastic or lay people. The Buddha is kind of encouraging us and expecting us to be very learned in practice so that we can keep these teachings alive. And, many of us here and, kind of younger monastics are starting our own places in different places, trying to build more Dhamma in America, right? More places like this wonderful place that people can come and be a part of keeping the Dhamma alive and making it available to so many people. I would have loved to have a place like this when I first started Buddhism. I had no places like this. I was the only Buddhist I knew in my daily life. So if I could have come to a place like this, it would have been wonderful. So, thank you.
Hi. Thank you all for being here. I know that, being here and being here. And I just want to acknowledge that Bhante didn't just wander into an ordination, to a bhikkhuni ordination. He wasn't just in the neighborhood and stopped by, but he's really been incredibly supportive in terms of traveling far and wide to support bhikkhuni ordinations, and they don't happen without that. And so, Bhante, thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Aṅgulimāla.
We can do 3 sadhus for that one. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. It's a long way. Sorry, Susan.
In the Buddha way, I am very grateful and lucky of Kuba Ajahn here today for my last day in this beautiful community. Any bad karma I done to all of Ajahn and friends, either from my thought, my speech, my act. Either I know or I don't know. Either front or behind of you. Please forgive me. And whatever or you bad karma done to me, either from your thought, your speech, your act, or behind or front, either you know or you don't know, I forgive you. And you are going to be a deep from my heart. Thank you. I love you all.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. On behalf of the whole community,
Clap my reo na.
come back soon, and we forgive you. That's a beautiful Buddhist ceremony that we do when we leave, is we ask forgiveness, and Chinita for modeling that, for modeling such a beautiful presence in the community. Sadhu. Glenn.
Thank you all for being here. That's so special. During the metta practice, the beginning is that we offer metta to ourself. And it dawned on me that I'm like, which part of me am I offering metta to? My inner child or my elder self, or all these different parts, or the thoughts or the emotions that I identify with? And then it dawned on me, it's like, when I offered them metta, it's like they disappeared into no self. And then I'm like, well, my question is maybe, yes, we can offer metta to the self, but then realizing there isn't one, then may there be metta just radiating. I'd welcome any comments around that.
I think there are endless ways to practice metta. It depends on different cultures too, right? We in Asia, we are used to practice first metta towards ourselves. But having come here, I noticed that people find it very challenging to practice metta towards themselves. They said it's easier to practice metta towards others. So I think, you practice the way you feel more comfortable at the beginning, and then radiate to others. So I know, like, for example, as we said, even before going to your own home, you can practice metta towards your own home. Coming from the office, before entering your home, you don't know what's happening there, what has been happening there. So before entering also, it's good to practice metta towards your home, your family. Even when you get a phone call, you see your wife is calling, your husband is calling, your mom is calling, dad is calling, whosoever. Before answering the call, just a little bit of, may he or she be well, happy, healthy, and then answer the call. That might, save so much. You don't even know. Sometimes you don't even greet, you start bashing at them. You never know what's happening in the other side of the world. So it's very important to be present. Your mindfulness all the time. So if you want to practice towards yourself, maybe right here, right now, start from the beginning, top of the head, all the way to the tip of the toes, slowly scanning your body and feel some tensions. If you have some tensions in your body, pause there for a while and send loving kindness. Take a good long deep breath. I have a back problem. Send loving kindness to that area with pure heart. You are the best one to, love yourself. And then you can do it better. You feel the magic. Healing is happening within you. And then if you want to think of some past traumatic experience or something that you have been holding for a long time, I have been, angry with someone. I was holding that. Yeah, address that. Address towards that, May that be addressed. May he or she be well, happy, healthy. Continue to do it. And eventually you will see, you will be relieved from such heavy load that you have been carrying for a long, long time. So continue to do that in the past or in the present. Sending that loving kindness towards yourself can make you a clear, empty cloud. You can clear the mountain. That way. We have been actually accumulating so much grudge, so many defilements within us. We need to clear them one by one. So very important to, feel that emptiness within, and then you will feel it's so much easier to reflect that powerful, positive, wholesome energy towards the rest of the world. When someone is sick, someone is, really needing your help. Maybe someone who is sitting, maybe in your office, you don't know, there is someone who is really angry with you. How you practice metta towards that person. You can do it even silently, without saying a word. You can say that. You don't want to talk, you say that. May he be well, happy, healthy. Do it silently. And you will feel the energy flow. Eventually, he'll be able to open up. Good morning, and eventually you will go for a cup of coffee or something together. Eventually you can be, resolved. You need to find a way to get out of that anger. Yeah, that's very, very helpful. I think we need to find a way of Dhamma to resolve any problem in our life. I'm pretty sure that there are enough resources in the Dhamma where we can apply, we can balance Dharma with the karma to resolve any problem in our life. Thank you.
I think we might want to wrap up. It's getting, sorry, person on Zoom who had your hand up for a long time. Maybe join us on a Wednesday. Yeah. Bhante, often you talk about the glow and the beauty of metta, and for a long time, sometimes you will be talking to someone else, and I will look at you, and I will say, you are shiny, and you are beautiful. And I would just think you are so beautiful with metta. So thank you so much for joining us, and to all of our Bhikkhuni sisters, Bhikkhuni siblings, Bhikkhuni brothers, Bhikkhu brothers. So great to have all of you.